The second commandment that God gave to the people of Israel after he liberated them out of Egypt was to not make any graven image that would represent what they thought God was. He said, make no image either from heaven above or the earth below or the water below the earth. And most of us don't spend any time thinking about it, but I actually, over the last, couple of weeks, have spent time thinking about it. I honestly believe that the reason that it's so easy for men and women to dismiss God is because it's not within our earthly capacity to understand the majesty and the glory of God. I also think that that's why God gave that second commandment, because the commandment seems to be quite odd in light of all the other commandments. But I think that it's telling. I think it's very telling, especially in the context of how we live now. The Bible talks about nobody has ever been able to stand in the presence of God. Adam and Eve were born in the presence of God, but once God drove them out after the fall, there's no mention that they ever were able to gaze upon God ever again. In the times that they do mention that, men, want to see God, I think it's mentioned once in the Old Testament that Abraham wished to see God, and God, said the closest that you could come is I could pass behind you. I think the warning is God is so pure and God is so wonderful and God is so glorious that in our given state, if we were to stand in his presence, it would really just destroy us. Because even after you're born again and you're freed from the power of sin and you're freed from the penalty of sin, it doesn't mean that sin goes away. Sin still is resident in all of us. And it is until the day that this body dies and we pass into the next life. But I just, keep coming back to, us not having the capacity, us not having the understanding, us not having the ability to fathom the glory of God is why so many people intellectualize not believing in God. And I think that it even influences some preaching, some teaching. Sometimes I think that preachers and teachers of the word, in their ignorance of the majesty of God, it allows them to preach something that's soft, something that is not reverent, to the type of respect that we should give to our Creator. And I just, thought that I would, enter this into the conversation. I think that the atrocities that are done in the name of God, I think that the reason that they transpire is because we don't know God. The horrible, ugly things that men and women are able to do in the name of God is because it's never entered into those people's hearts the God that they profess to represent. That's why they're able to carry out those evil agendas is because they never knew, they never understood, and they never really held God in the reverence that he absolutely deserves. So that's just my take on it.